Loot.bet. Made for live betting.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Loot.bet CS League Season 1, and of course, welcome back to our first best of 3 of the day, AVANGAR versus x-kom. It is going to be Cash up next, the map pick of AVANGAR this time, and certainly not the most comfortable of beginnings for x-kom. After an 11-4 half victory, they lose the map 13-6, and certainly a result that will haunt them for a very long time, especially if they are unable to bring this map around and close out with a possible third, because, well, as we said before we ended the first map, if x-kom lose this best of 3, there's a very high chance they do not pass on to the playoffs.
That's the thing, like, it's kind of ride or die for x-kom in these last couple of games. They have a great deal of importance, like you said, for their tournament survivors basically on the line if they don't pick up this next couple of best of 3s. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for x-kom in this game. I have faith that they can bring it, but AVANGAR, they might just be stronger, especially after that first map victory. Like, I'm pretty sure at halftime AVANGAR were kind of discounting any sort of credibility in that game, but then they come back to take the victory in 16-13 fashion.
Yeah,
that's gonna really demotivate, or not demotivate, but really annoy x-kom for the fact that they dropped the map they were so close to winning. But it's also going to add a great deal of life into AVANGAR, because we can say they're demotivated, we can say they're tired from the major, but like, CS is the best medicine for a CS pro, right? It's like, you get into the server, whether you're ill, whether you're going through a tough time, you get into the server, your mentality completely changes. You switch into that competitive mode, and any game, whether it's FPL, whether it's a pug, scrims, official, LAN, you're in that competitive mindset, and for a pro, that's what they thrive off. So AVANGAR, they should be fired up and ready for map number 2.
Absolutely, and as you said, CS, I'm not sure who said it exactly, but I think it was either Tarek or somebody, that CS is the best medicine
I'm sure
after
Pimp
a breakup.
said it on the major, literally. Yeah, it was Pimp on the major.
Yeah,
literally,
it was Pimp. Yeah, it was Pimp. Sorry, yeah, not Tarek. Pimp. Yeah. Like, it honestly is, because the game demands such a high amount of focus. You don't have time when you play to focus on anything else, to really do anything else, and that's the best part of it all. That's the charm of CS, right? You're consistently in it for the hour and 30 minutes you play a map, or, you know, maybe less, depending how fast, how quick you win. But in any case, gentlemen, we are on our second map, and it is our first pistol, first half. AVANGAR starting on the CT side. Let's see how well x-kom can play this one off. It's going to be a bit of an A push, as Oskarish is slow walking already. Comes as a bit of a surprise, but Kiekert actually spots at least 1 or 2 players. Stomp even taking a shot. I'm surprised AVANGAR is playing this open for A, though. They're going to be trying to retake this. Oh, Kiekert, though. Oof, la la. That's going to be a beautiful opener. Back to a 5-on-4. Okay, Kiekert. A double. Oh, Kiekert. Oh, yes. That was pure. Kiekert and Nace.
What a way to start a game.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Damn, Kiekert. That's beautiful. That's hands down a beautiful sequence he works with. And he just lines them up and gets the round done.
Dude, that's, if there was any sort of pistol scenario you'd want, that's kind of it. 5 players alive, and I think only, like, 11 points of damage inflicted across the entire AVANGAR side, so that's definitely a way to kickstart a pistol and just sort of bring x-kom down to earth. But Crizzen, he'll start off exactly the same in round number 2 with a 4K, or at least 3. Plus to clean up the final 2, and I think that's the quickest 2-0 start we've ever had in a game in this league so far.
Pretty much. I mean, that was lightning fast. I have to say, I love the fact that they're double boosting their x-kom, that is. They attempted to get a bit of a surprise on Chris, and unfortunately, even then, he still gets 3. And Buster, he did jump with the mouse there, with the mouse wheel, so it might have gotten a little bit scary there for a second. But we are back at it again. It's going to be our 3rd round, a full buy for x-kom, and it looks like a bit of a default play. Although, ooh, they're pushing on towards B with 3 players. This could get dangerous for Buster. He gets stacked up down to 48. This is a problem. Because first of all, he does have Krisen with him with an AUG, but he's at 50 HP with a FAMAS, and, well, a very angry T-side, we could say, from x-kom. And they're barreling down onto mid and A yet again, though, as it seems like they pulled off of B. I think that's for the best, though. If they do not take heavy mid control, they can't really afford to go far, or excuse me, they can't go slow B. And we do see x-kom will be exercising control towards that mid area. The bomb's still towards B, though. I'm not sold on the fact x-kom is gonna actually be attempting this B take. This is not the best case scenario for them. They're gonna be facing off 2 players already on site that have a very good encroached position, as well as the fact that, well, I mean, there is another player already in connector with a deep push into main. AVANGAR have a lot of information going their way.
That's the thing, I have to agree. x-kom are kind of divided in this first gun round, which is definitely not great for starting things off. Buster, Krisen has a very, very nice, advantageous angle for him to take, and already they lose their first man, but literally no reaction off the back of the x-kom side. They weren't pushing together. Inside of close main, he spots a first, kills him off. Mono's a second, but he trades back. Keycut is there either way, and just shuts down the party. Denka's all that's left, and he won't survive for longer. AVANGAR are here with a point to prove, 3-0 to start this game off, and it will be x-kom reset once again. They'll have a pistol and Kevlar purchase, maybe a little bit of utility, some flashbangs if they want to go for a fast B kind of scenario, but AVANGAR to start off this game look way more lively than they did on map number 1, and it shows with the scoreline. x-kom, they'll be feeling this early, 4-0 before that second gun round comes through, but it's a much better start from AVANGAR here in map 2.
Absolutely, and something I mentioned is I think AVANGAR, excuse me, my pronunciation sometimes is off.
I have no idea either, so.
I'm not sure if it's like, how is it, or what is the correct way to pronounce it, but in any case, AVANGAR, I think they were a little bit scared, excuse me, not scared, but more so unsure as to what exactly to expect out of x-kom, as we could see x-kom doing some weird stuff, you know, playing a little bit unorthodox, and because of it, AVANGAR needed time to adjust, and as soon as they got onto the CT side, where they could go into their defaults, where they could work together and play off very normally, not really needing too much, they were able to secure a very quick victory afterwards. Fitch with a double kicker, therefore one more beforehand, and this is going to be 2 kills to x-kom, so it's okay-ish. They do a little bit of damage, but the larger picture remains pretty clear for the moment for AVANGAR. They are still in a very nice, or in a position where they will keep the lead in their hands. If they win this gun round as well, they're going to be putting themselves up for a perfect start of the half. I mean, if it already isn't. I would also add that x-kom, the round previous to the last one, was a very weird one. They went with 3 players close to B with the bomb, right? Then they just stopped and walked back towards mid, and then they tried to take mid, and then they tried to go back to B, and then they just went for these one-on-one solo peeks, something weird here and there, and Krisen will fall this time around, but still, x-kom, it feels like they're not exactly sure what they would be or what they should be doing.
Yeah, they're seeming a little lost in the start of this game, which I think once they find their footing, we'll see way more out of this side. But for now, AVANGAR are doing a great job of keeping x-kom on their toes, like especially after how confidently they started map 1 here on x-kom. They I assume went in to do the same and really start to give it to AVANGAR to try and trade back this map and start off early. But AVANGAR right now, this is like their map. They prefer this map over Mirage, especially in this kind of this scenario. But AVANGAR, like you said, they've started very, very well, and a perfect start if they do take away this gun round, because x-kom will be very weak once again. There's most likely going to be 6 on the board. I'm loving this aggression from James. He's not scared of going for these advantageous peaks, especially with an AWP and a stomp tries for the angle. Buster's there to support as well.
What? Buster?
3 men stacked, but a lineup, and Buster just rips them apart. Finally, Mono, he will trade back 1, making a little damage on the second, but AVANGAR shut them down. I love that 3-man stack on the B bomb site. Buster was there. They knew Jame was there as well, but no idea of that third player. It sort of, but this lineup, I think, sort of, Yedka got in the way of Oscar. She was too scared to fire in case he killed off his own teammates, so they just both died trying to protect each other.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think the worst part there was also a chance for x-kom to actually get onto site because it was Buster that was switching out his weapon for a grenade or something, and he noticed just a split second. If he had noticed the player a split second later, he probably would have died without a single kill. Instead, it's Stomp, though this time around it finds one, but it's Kristen to hold the line. Jame finds the second. 2 players already supporting from CT as well. This round is done 6-0, and a perfect start for AVANGAR, as Jame will catch even one more to the smoke. This is not looking too good for x-kom so far. It is another buy, another chance of victory to happen, or more so a round to go their way, but it is a very clean start for AVANGAR overall. The first half looks like it just might go their way fully. The money has yet to be established in a manner where you would say, okay, now they have enough money to last them at least for the next 3 rounds, even if they lose all 3 in a row, right?
Yeah.
But x-kom, we have yet to see any sort of quality out of them that would convince us that they can win this first half. In any case, the early entry will be nice as Oskarish catches Kristen. Jame down to 10 as well. A good wall bang coming out from Stomp. And it's going to be a 5-on-4 yet again. Although, honestly, the last time it was a 5-on-4, AVANGAR still won. So, this is all up in the air for the moment.
Yeah, very true, and I'm pretty sure Oskarish just escaped the line of Buster, but he has got himself into deep checkers, an angle that surely AVANGAR will not expect.
I actually call that Superman or Batman, depending on how you want to call it. Our old team had to call out Batman or Superman.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, it's like, it's a superposition, but...
Yeah.
You know, if the kryptonite, which in this case is Molotov, finds you, then you're pretty much gone, right? So,
true,
you know,
yeah.
It's a little bit... sketchy, but Oskarish, he might be able to get one. Yes, he does. Buster unexpectedly, or more so unexpecting the peak of Oskarish. Unfortunately, x-kom has already made their way through mid onto site A. And AVANGAR, they'll be saving the op and the M4, almost certainly so. They've got money to buy the next, that's for the iron certain, but their money is not too good. Their money is not too bright, and they certainly do not wish to throw it all away. I mean, there's a lot of cash to be held, and x-kom, the first one on the board, finally, 6-1. A long way to go to tie it, and a long way to win the half, if even possible.
Like you said, it took them a while to get started here, but hopefully it's a sign of good things from this side. Still, like you said, should be no issue for AVANGAR to reinvest into this round. James' final player on that CT side. He does have the AWP, but Mono is lurking down, and James a little bit exposed. I'm pretty sure he'll be spotted fairly soon. Oh, Mono. Ooh. Position now given up. James still comes away with the frag, so at least they're dealing a little bit of damage to x-kom to go to the grave with. But
yeah,
pause called here. I assume tactical for one of these two teams, but again, it's a good start from x-kom. They get themselves the first round. Their grace period on that AVANGAR side has been finally destroyed, but it depends how they come back from this, because they can either give x-kom a great opportunity to get some more rounds back on this T side, or they shut them out straight away with a nice little reset, which if they do so, we're going to be surely seeing like a 11-10 4 half, 10-5 half, something like that.
Or even worse. I would say the problem here is the fact that x-kom, the grace period for AVANGAR might have ended, sure, but it can be shot right back up if x-kom lose it. And they are well aware of that. Their money is not going to support I mean, they have enough money in the bank currently that they'll be able to buy the next, even if they lose this one. But it's just, it's something that they cannot afford happen to them, especially not being down 5 rounds. And this is already the second map, right? I mean, AVANGAR, this is a map that they love to play. They played it multitude of times on the major. I think it was the game that they won against FaZe on Cash as well. So, yeah, this is... or excuse me, no, that was Mirage, I apologize. I think that was actually Mirage, not Cash. But in any case, the point being that basically AVANGAR, I mean, they're currently rolling this one easily, almost. And x-kom, they're going to have to bring something else to the table if they want to close out with a victory and a potential third map going their way.
Yeah, they really have to, and especially at this point, like you said, AVANGAR can easily put up that defense system again to just really punish x-kom, even after they've won a first round. I'm loving this double stack inside of main, especially considering that if they spot Kika, they're barely going to expect Fitch to be in this sort of similar position. So it's kind of worth putting Kika as that bait type of player where he can just sit back and get spotted, if you will. And as he looks to break through main, they don't even realize squeaky doors open. Fitch and Kika both fall, and that's a much better round in the side of x-kom. Stomp is looking to hold from card. Jame might just get spotted. Shot was missed, but just comes away with his life so barely. 5-on-3 in AVANGAR. They're already calling for that save, so a better round again from x-kom. But not only that, consecutive rounds as well, which I think is much better for a side, just to stabilize them in especially after taking the sort of very marginally early defeat.
And I wouldn't just say much better. It is pretty much crucial for them. They have to, or they had to win this round. That's as simple as that. They lose this, almost certainly AVANGAR go up to 8-9 rounds, or maybe even more. x-kom, there's a long way to go to tie it up, and a long way to go to win the first half, or at least have a chance of winning the first half. But certainly, it can work out. The money for AVANGAR has finally come down to the point where, well, will they force up? They're probably going to be having maybe one UMP or something like that, some sort of an SMG. Jame does drop an M4, and I see an AUG there on one of the players, so fairly certain they probably have at least 3 rifles, maybe even all. Yeah, they're gonna have an AUG, 2 M4s, and 2 ops, so still a very good buy coming out of AVANGAR, but this is the last buy they will be able to afford, at least in this kind of fashion, with full utility, diffuse kits, and everything else to support it. So AVANGAR, they're well aware that this is where x-kom will have a chance to actually make a comeback possible. At least, I wouldn't call it a comeback, just generally a tie possible. And the last round proved to us AVANGAR might not be, again, expecting these quick plays through Squeaky, through main, through mid, whatever you want to call it, as 2 players had been caught by Goofy. And certainly a very weird setup through main and Shroud, where nobody was literally watching anything besides the push through short and, well, kind of being open in main. In any case, x-kom, they slow it down. I love the fact they're not going aggro this time, because AVANGAR will be expecting it. We can see they're playing very defensively. They're posturing in a manner where they will not allow themselves to be caught off guard, or in a way where they couldn't get refrags off. But just as I say that, Buster peeks out B, and Oskarish will be punishing him for it. So a great entry for x-kom, and gives them a lot of room to maneuver. Cash, we gotta keep in mind, as a map that does favor the T side quite a little bit when it comes to map control, especially on the higher, I guess you could say higher tier CS games. And, well, it looks like it's going to be an execute nonetheless for x-kom, though, and this might be a crucial error. They'll be walking into 3 players, and that could be backfiring immediately.
Yeah, Fitch, he'll trade at least 1, but Yeka and Oskarish, oh, beautiful kills. A refrag by Chrism, but already disencountered by Goofy. Jame, though, he drops the bomb, and in a 1-on-2. Oh, make it a 1-on-1. You'd favor him in this type of position. And he's just dancing around the boxes. Jame with a beautiful 1-on-3. Stomp couldn't even catch up with how quick he was moving there. 7-2. And AVANGAR will claw back around thanks to a beautiful clutch from Jame. And Stomp was like, where the heck's he gone, man? Eventually finishes him off with a P250, but still sublime from Jame there in that round.
I'm surprised Stomp is jumping onto Big Red Box, chasing him with an AWP. Immediately when he jumped, I was like, okay, does he have an AK? Then I looked at the inventory, it's like, an op? Okay, why? Why do you not pull out a pistol at least? Because if you miss that shot and you're already gonna go for the no-scope, you pretty much have to hide for the next 3 seconds and re-peek. Well, it's gonna be a B push this time from x-kom. They will find Chrism, but excuse me, Buster, not Chrism. Chrism finds himself a double, and that's gonna be enough as x-kom are on site as well as planting. Ooh, Stomp is able to shut down Jame. This will turn the tide a little bit, but Chris is still holding from Batman or Superman, depending on how you want to call it. Let's call it Superman, maybe. And it's going to be a 3-on-2 as Goofy and Stomp are left to survive to get this round back in the hands of x-kom. Otherwise, defeat is inevitable, and Stomp finds one more. Back to a 2-on-2. It's open for business. Fitch, though, is going to be catching Goofy, and that's horrible now because x-kom. Stomp has an AWP. He has to walk out the smoke. No chance. What would you even be able to do? And I can't blame Stomp for this one, because there's no chance he gets this round unless he walks out and does some crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, like there's literally no way for him to have any angle in that round without peeking through that smoke. So yeah, I mean, that's one of the scenarios where you think, okay, yeah, he's done it for the team there. So we'll cut in some slack. But again, it's still a good round from AVANGAR. They really are starting to break that barrier between them and x-kom now. 8-2, and another eco in the hands of the C in the T side, and especially with AVANGAR losing that one round that sort of changed the tides a little bit in terms of economy, but not really in terms of round progression. They want to keep as many players alive in this type of eco scenario as possible, just to make sure they have enough bank for the next couple of rounds. Because even if x-kom take maybe 2 frags, 3 kills in this round, it's still going to force the majority of these players to repurchase again, which on the gun round is going to get quite risky for AVANGAR. But luckily, I'm liking that they're reading this play very well. They've gone into an A, or more of an A stack than usual. Fitch already good damage done with Keycurt, though. If you want a man to find yourself a batch of kills, it's these 2 men to do so. A simple cleanup, 9-2. They lose 2 men in the process, but I don't think that'll really matter. I'm glad they didn't lose the majority of their team. So AVANGAR, a single round away from double figures. x-kom will now see them in that gun round yet again.
As you said, AVANGAR, they were leading 6-0 and their money was still not established. Something we mentioned during that time was the fact that AVANGAR had lost quite a few players, and obviously, you know, leading by 6-0 is good, but it's not yet the godlike result you would expect, or more so that you would think, oh, this is already done, right? Especially economy-wise as well. They were a little bit in a troublesome spot. They were able to drag themselves out of the mud. x-kom unable to capitalize on top of their 2 rounds, and unable to break AVANGAR in the most crucial of rounds of all. Because if they had gotten, I believe it was round number 9 or round number... Excuse me, no, round number 10, where x-kom had a chance of victory. Instead, it was all went down the drain, and well, at 9-2, x-kom currently looking like this half will be ending at the bare minimum of 9-6. This is not exactly the perfect start you would hope, and another A execute coming through. x-kom might be awarded with a plant at least this time, but a good pop flash action. All 4 players blinded out. Fitch finds both. 2 more remain with one in Squeaky. Fitch, for some reason, switches out a weapon for a nade. Should have just kept his weapon in hand. As soon as he sees 1 or 2 players in main, just hold your weapon in hand. Basic rule of CS, basic thumb rule of CS, never switch out a weapon when you are engaged in a 2v2 kept. Stomp and Mon are able to refrag. The bomb is dropped at Fork, though, and James is holding such a tight angle. I'm not sure if Stomp will actually peek him well enough to get the advantage here. Yeah, certainly not, as he jumps out with a grenade in hand. Mono, a 1-on-2, clutch round left. Krisen with 68 and Jame with 9. This is doable for x-kom. He will find 1, but Krisen is just a little bit too fast. That is 10-2, and well, the problem here for x-kom is, first of all, their money is not going to be good enough to support a full buy. They will have enough for around $4,000 to $3,000. Not even that. 3.5, no full buy, pistols and Kevlar, an 11-2 result coming up.
Yeah, this is not looking good for x-kom, especially with we called a similar scenario in map 1 when x-kom had such a strong lead like this. But AVANGAR is a team that you can almost guarantee they'll have a much easier time of closing out this game than x-kom would have done in map number 1, which is kind of a little bit biased, but I think AVANGAR are the more proven team on a bigger scale. So they've been in...
It's not biased. It's correct. That's it. It's not biased. That's as simple as that.
Yeah. So right now, Krisen taken out 2. Mono will burn 1 alive, but it's as simple as you like, just for an eco round like that. 11-2. x-kom. This is literally do or die for them now here, for the fact that they will have this buy round going into this 14th. Lose this, though, we might be seeing AVANGAR shut off cash first half 13-2, which they're pretty much doing what x-kom did to them, but even better. And in this second map where it matters the most for x-kom, they might have just run out of energy very, very quickly.
I mean, I think that the defeat on Mirage is having a heavy toll on them, especially on their mindset, because x-kom, we have to regard the fact that they are not the best of the teams on the market. They're not a tier 1 team. They're not used to playing against the best of the best, whilst AVANGAR, if nothing else, they already had an experience in life which not many players or teams can say they had. Obviously the major performance, the major qualification and all that good jazz. And I think this is where the real difference will be shown the most. x-kom, they're a good team. They're a very solid team. They have a lot of good team play and a lot of good, I guess you could say, work they do together, as well as a good future ahead of them. But they have a lot to work on. Especially team play and communication, I think, is the biggest issue. And Buster spots from Superman, gets himself one. Stomp for the refrag, though, keeping it at the 3-on-4 is Krisen. As x-kom have been given site entry. And the bomb plant goes down as well. So far, it looks like AVANGAR had perhaps overestimated, or more so, underestimated x-kom. But unfortunately, for Mono, with a knife in hand, he will be caught by Jame. A 4-on-2 retake coming up from Vents CT. Let's see how AVANGAR fare.
They're going to have to be so accurate in this retake. Any interaction they take is going to have to be perfect. And so far it is, but Fitch will come in to deny the party. And is there enough time?
There is.
Oh, I think there just is.
Yeah. There is time.
That's unfortunate. AVANGAR, they do clutch the round by the skin of their teeth. Unlucky for x-kom to not come away with that round there, despite doing everything kind of well. AVANGAR, they left site, that B bomb site, so open that they were literally screaming for x-kom to walk on through to that bomb site. But luckily, the retake was in their favor. The nade stats pretty close as well, showing just how tied up these two teams are for the sort of statistical aspect. But AVANGAR just miles ahead in the rounds, and 13-2 looks all but confirmed at this point, and like the run for x-kom is slowly coming to a close here. But if they take a third, get into the CT side, who knows, everything could switch around. AVANGAR just seem like the team that has such a better stance this time. Fitch, he mows down 2, and Kika for a third. They line up on Highway and Krisen, as simple as you like. That round was over before it even started, so quickly to finish. 13-2 though, and AVANGAR absolutely dominant in this first half.
The worst part for x-kom is the fact, or excuse me, I guess the worst part is the fact this is 13-2, right? But the only, or the biggest takeaway for them is at least it's not on CT side. Because if it were on CT side, it just hurts you so much more. Now, moving on to this defensive part of the game, or the half, where they're going to be playing the way we usually see them play. They're going to be doing a bit of a risky move here and there, most likely pushing B on the pistol, which is highly I guess you could say effective. If you push with 2 or 3 players on B site on the pistol, you can get an early entry or 2, you can get a lot of information going, and you can easily retake A if you have people coming in behind in main as well. But in any case, this will be the second half coming up, and x-kom, well, they will be 3 rounds away from losing this best of 3, 2-0 or 0-2, depending how you want to call it. A very close call on map 1, but a very distinct advantage for AVANGAR on the second one. This is starting to look out, or more so look like, as if AVANGAR might be able to close it pretty soon, but we'll find out anyway.
Loot.bet. Made for live betting.
As I've said, we'll find out after the commercial break. We are in our second pistol, second half. This is it. AVANGAR moving on to their, I guess you could say, a bit of a disadvantaged side, because we saw them on Mirage. They really hadn't had the best of performances on the T side. They were lacking, to say the very least. They didn't really look like they knew what they wanted to do, or just more than anything being very confused about it. Whereas x-kom were able to capitalize on top of that. They were able to play with such, I guess you could say, great understanding as to what AVANGAR will throw at them. It really works out perfectly. But this pistol round is crucial for x-kom. No matter how different of an economy change it might have been in the past few months with the, the new economy changes and all that, AVANGAR, they're 3 away, and x-kom cannot afford to lose this.
They really can't. It is literally
A site is open.
Vital.
Oh. Ooh.
Is not good. AVANGAR. Oh, Fitch has so much progression. Mono Checking that lower position, he'll finally spot Fitch out, but there is no one on the A site itself. They can literally break free. Fitch, all they have to do is remain safe. He's spotted so many players. Stomp will eventually take him down, but in a 5-on-4 retake, you would even favor AVANGAR in this scenario just for the fact of x-kom are coming in for all of these same positions. The smoke is down. It allows James to readjust. There is no one coming in from the flanks whatsoever, so they have literally a single angle to focus on, and as Kika takes one, a second to come through, and swiftly a third, and surely a fourth as... Yep, it's just Yegka left, and as he's in a 1-on-2, no chance of survival. And I think that is where the curtain begins to draw. 14-2, AVANGAR will be on that full buy for the next, and match point is only imminent at this point. AVANGAR, they've really come into map 2 just to prove a point here and shut out x-kom entirely. But I feel kind of bad for that Polish side. They've had chances to prove themselves, but haven't really come through with those. You've got to say, though, it's been pretty much perfect from AVANGAR in this map number 2.
Yeah, it really has. I would also say x-kom perhaps giving it too easy to AVANGAR. First of all, they had 3 players on B early on, as predicted that they would most likely take a bit of an aggressive stance. Instead of really committing to it, they post 1 player in Toxic, which is all fine and dandy, but you have to rotate the rest of the 2 players that remain there back towards A, because if you got a guy in Toxic calling out nobody's on B, don't wait a split second longer, but push back to A immediately, because you know most likely the A site will be lost, especially if nobody's controlling it already. So yeah, x-kom perhaps a bit of a change of pace would have helped them out as well, and probably would have perhaps resulted in a different outcome on the pistol. But this force buy round is, well, their last chance, really. Losing this will mean losing this map. It's as simple as that. And right now, AVANGAR, they've already been tagged up on 2 players. Krisen and Kikert could be having trouble dueling. But Kikert has a deagle, so, I mean, as long as he hits the headshots, there's going to be no trouble at all. And Goofy, I love the fact he pushed so deep onto B, though. This gives him a lot of info, and x-kom, as long as they keep themselves composed and not allow themselves to be isolated into one-on-one duels, they should be able to win this round, unless somehow they lose them 1 by 1, as I said. Or unless AVANGAR are able to push on together and just lock it out completely. And yeah, Yetker peeks out quad. Of course, the Molotov unfortunately forcing him in that position. And AVANGAR, they're playing it very smart given the circumstances they were in. Krisen finds 1, finds the second. No, good spray down, and Buster will actually help him out there. Yeah, Goofy actually. Ooh. This might work out.
The time as well. They have to push to find the kill, and...
Oh, yeah.
They need... there's no time to retrieve the bomb. Surely they're trying to bait out. But oh my god, luckily Goofy, he's able to find the kill. AVANGAR just a little bit lackluster with the timings there. Again, we've seen another time constraint out of this team. We saw one in Mirage as well. We see one in Cash.
Actually, 2 on Mirage.
Oh yeah, 2 on Mirage. Yeah, because one was with the B site, one was towards A.
Yeah. Well done by Goofy, though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Goofy did the right thing, especially to drop that smoke to make sure literally they were not allowed back into A main. But I think AVANGAR, that was not the right time to make a mistake, but a more favored time rather than deeper into the game, if you will. So 14-3. Sure. x-kom will be onto the bye. But this should be a 4th for the CT side. I doubt once AVANGAR get onto the guns, they'll give x-kom any room for breathing, though.
x-kom's gonna have to take that room. It's as simple as that. There will be no freebies, I guess. And Buster, ooh, he sneaks on by to... Yeah, unfortunately, nothing will help him when Goofy's peeking at the right corner. But that was a little bit close. Could have gotten across, could have gotten in a bit of a better position. Edward is a position you can't really you deal with anything unless you have the element of surprise. And ooh, Kikert, he peeks out, and he's gonna be missing all the shots. Goodbye, Kikert. Surprised he doesn't fall sooner. Oskarish able to tag him down in the end, though, still. And as you said, 4 on the board for x-kom, as expected, as thought of. AVANGAR, perhaps a bit of a blow to their overall, setup, but it certainly will not affect them too much. I mean, as you said, it's certainly better to lose a little early on rather than back when it's potentially 14-14 or something like that.
Yeah, and Fitch, you won't survive for too long, but like you said, it's great to get these mistakes ironed out this early, and especially considering it is going to be AVANGAR down into, I believe, another eco. I'm pretty sure we saw like $2,000 on a couple of players. So yeah, there's going to be nothing bought into this round, giving x-kom a chance to gain a 5th. But it all depends on how AVANGAR play their first gun round. They'll have the AKs, the AWP most likely on James. It's all coming down to whether x-kom can hold off against that first gun round of AVANGAR. And if they do, there is a real chance that x-kom push to like 7 or 8 rounds if they can close out the ecos as well. But if AVANGAR steamroll, it is pretty much over. x-kom will have very little left in the tank to try and make such a comeback from like 15-4. Kika even gets a Zeus frag as well. Mono will clean out 2 with the MP9. It's money bonuses all year round. x-kom take a 5th though. AVANGAR, I think they'll be going into their buy round for this though, and it's where it gets difficult for x-kom. If they can hold on, then great. If not, AVANGAR should be finishing off this game relatively quickly.
Indeed, they should. But we're about to find out how this one plays off. The difference in the buys is quite apparent and quite obvious. Obviously, the utility is going to be a big factor for x-kom. As long as they are able to keep themselves in check for that part, you know, not using it too early on, not abusing it too much, and more so, I wouldn't say abusing, but just wasting it too much. A stomp, ooh, he's posted into checkers. He has an angle onto Toxic, as Buster is playing very slowly, and there we go. Stomp will get the entry. James, he's pushing up for Xbox, and Mono was able to catch down Fitch. This is still a very good round for x-kom, as AVANGAR have yet to find a single return. And James, the timing for him is going to be perfect for Yetka, unfortunately. And Keeker gets a refrag, but again, okay, Krisen keeping it open for business. 2v3, this is actually doable. A minute on the clock, and the bomb is already on the site. x-kom, okay, Yetka, good timing.
That's good from Yetka, yeah, great shot from timing through that smoke. 55 seconds and a 32 HP Krisen shouldn't be bringing a victory to AVANGAR. At least if they can get a bomb plant, that's great. It puts a little more money in the bank, but Mono just says no to that. A Kobe to finish. 14-6, and whilst it's a long road for x-kom, they're battling rounds back step by step, which is just like AVANGAR did in map number 1 to create that comeback on Mirage, and x-kom are looking to do a little more of the same. If they can shut down this eco, which they rightly should be able to, that's 14-7. AVANGAR on the gun round, they can easily try and push back to at least 14-8, 14-9 in the next couple, depending how AVANGAR play these ecos. And x-kom, on that CT side at this tier, which is a little bit more favorable, might just have a greater batch of success. And this time, we'll go aggro inside of main. Yeg gets a clean out all of those players. Oscar is to back him up and pretty much do the same. 14-7. And x-kom, they do have a lot of money in the reserve. You can see Mono with like $9,000 after this round was over, and that means it's going to take a while for AVANGAR to close out any sort of economy differential between x-kom. Even if they win this round to push them to 15, x-kom are going to be right back in their face to battle again. But the gun round for AVANGAR, it's vital they win this, or else x-kom, they'll be getting to double figures fairly soon.
Pretty much as simple as that, but we have a buy that still is to be contested with, as AVANGAR have the up on James. It is glass cannon, that is true, but we've seen James with worse positions, or more so worse scenarios win against better opponents. In any case, x-kom have, as you said, a long way to go yet, and they've reached halfway right now, but half more, or half, as far as they got so far, they need to get even further. So, and we're about to find out, can they actually do this? This is an important round. This will be a turning point, I think, in this best of 3 series. If x-kom ever had a chance of victory of this series, then this will be the round that we will pick up. Almost certainly so. And, well, Stomp, he's already in the right corner. He's expecting the push coming towards B. Now they know, okay, the window has been broken. Smokes, Molotovs will be flying in momentarily. Here we go, the first smoke hits CT. Molotov onto site. Actually gets extinguished by the smoke from the player on site itself. Goofy. A smart call. And all of a sudden, AVANGAR, with 40 seconds left, they'll be committing towards B fully. I'm surprised x-kom has yet to rotate the third player over, as no presence has been shown by the Kazakhstanians towards A or mid.
The thing, you think as soon as they hear those windows being broken, Goofy, surely they know of his position right now. He's literally been ran into twice inside of that smoke, but Goofy, he at least takes one to the grave, but even so, Fitch.
Oh no!
Oh, James Stomp missed such a vital shot there. They have to get on the site for the timing, and Yenka, he denies. And again, AVANGAR find themselves running out of time. 14-8 as they close out another round here on the CT side, but it's again a mistake from AVANGAR. The timing is so bad with these guys in this T side.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're taking so long to execute for. Like, guys, you've already relinquished basically the whole map. You have no map control whatsoever. You're literally stacked up in front of B and you're still waiting for like 20 seconds. Like, that's not the way to go about things. Especially if you have nobody else at least making some sort of some noise, some sort of a fake out, some sort of a play, anything on any other part of the map that is not B. And oh, what a nice round from Stomp though. Excuse me, Peak. As the boost on Jame works, it doesn't really work out too well. It shall be Stomp denying that play. And that's going to be perfect for x-kom as Oskarish finds the second. That's it. That's what we wanted to see. Now x-kom, they have a chance of victory. Buster though peeks mid and will catch off Mono. A bit unfortunate, but a man advantage remains for the Polish. But yeah, timing. AVANGAR. Not sure what they were thinking there. I mean, let's be honest. If you want to go, if you call, okay, we go B, right? And you have nobody else anywhere else on the map, what are you waiting for? And
Exactly.
I know you're going up for those smokes or readying up for those smokes, but why have they not already been prepared to be thrown as soon as the last player joins your 5-man stack and you push when he runs in, you run with him instead of waiting for an additional 10-15 seconds? It just makes no sense. And AVANGAR, well, they're going to be going A again. A 3-on-4, no chance. Yetka denies the first, the second to Oskarish. The round is done, 14-9, and x-kom are bringing it back home. We'll see if they can close out the map yet, but this is certainly looking a lot better than, well, at least our first map and the first half.
Yeah, this is really starting to turn in the favor of x-kom. We've seen the similar, of course, done by AVANGAR in that previous map, but x-kom, they are playing with much more prowess than we've seen throughout this map so far. The one thing I've got to say, though, is there's still quite a way for x-kom to come back, and AVANGAR win one round that is match point secured. So they don't have that alleviation like they did with the x-kom comeback of AVANGAR, where they basically have, you know, like it's like 11-4 or 13 rounds where you know there is a barrier for you to break, for you to come back through. But AVANGAR win just a single round, maybe off of a mistake from x-kom. They're up to match point, which makes it much harder for x-kom to come back. Whilst it is still very possible they take every single round here in regulation and go 16-14, it's one of the hardest to do at this point. And AVANGAR, I'm pretty sure they'll be into an eco, maybe surround this AWP with some pistols, go for a fast play, try and secure a plant. But x-kom, they should be getting themselves double figures going into this next round. That does put an element of worry into the minds of AVANGAR, especially considering that they're not too far behind now.
Pretty much. I mean, I couldn't have explained it better. AVANGAR right now, they're still feeling confident. They still have their, I mean, their morale has never really dipped, but it's just, you know, that thought at the back of your mind is always going to be present when you're in a position like this, in a game like this, where you're leading by such a large degree, where you would also already be thinking, okay, this is it, you know, this is another 2-0 for us, easy victory, bye-bye, good night, you know, I'm gonna get some food, I'm gonna get a kebab once I finish this, or something like that. Instead, it's the round, or the thought in the back of the minds of AVANGAR is like, damn, like, they're not, you know, they're not that bad, they're not doing that badly, and we certainly cannot screw this up. We have to win at least one round before x-kom reach, you know, 14, 13 rounds, because then that is the real challenging moment. AVANGAR, their money is not that good as well. They're not getting those plants. They're not getting too many kills overall. And they're just being shut down on any sort of execution they do. So we're about to find out how this one continues. As you said, it's going to be an eco, though. Not really much of a challenge again for x-kom. Unless Buster picks up an AWP. Okay.
He had that save from the previous round, so.
Oh, apologies. Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, just carried over.
I did not see it. Okay, I apologize. It's weird. I'm blind then. Need to get prescription glasses. No, but seriously, it is gonna be, of course, an eco round. Yeah, I was fairly concerned, fairly certain it was an eco round, not a bad round. So yeah, I was like, what the hell is going on? x-kom. This is it. This is a chance to bring it back round. Obviously, the op will be used to the fullest of its extent. They want to put it onto James first. There's an AK on Fitch, if I saw correctly. No, and Buster. Okay. This is a full investment, is it not?
Yes,
as far as I can tell.
Purchase, yeah.
Yeah, they went for the full investment. Interesting choice. I mean, not that bad of a choice considering they do have an op to work with, but certainly perhaps a bit too much. In any case, 14-9 and x-kom, well, they will push main. This is a good choice to them, or for them, as Oskarish will get a lot of information with this, especially if he peeks deep, but that would also be very dangerous for him.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're bringing these positions through where they can get so much info off of the back of them and sort of read a Vanguard before the plays even happen. And Oskarish, whilst he goes for that peek and spots nothing, he of course can't take away from the fact there could be a player sat on that boost position, there could be someone, you know, passing through Squeaky. So there's always options you have to consider when you're making these types of decisions, especially considering you're against the side that sort of prefers going for these lurk plays, playing through like Squeaky, through tunnels, like through checkers and stuff like that. They prefer taking those funneled angles where they can rely on the aim duels rather than going for the all-out sight splits. I don't think we've seen a sort of highway wraparound aim push from a Vanguard in this first half. Anything like that where they've split together. So that's interesting, but Stomp, I think he spots the leg of James there, and he does land a tag, but Jamie hits the shot anyway. Goofy, he'll tag down one, but Buster, is this where x-kom finally fall? It looks like there might be a great insight into the half hit, or into the round, as that bomb hops over. Buster shuts out one more, it's into a 4-on-2, and this time, a Vanguard have way too many seconds to fail getting that bomb down. Prison, beautiful swing, and Yedka, they now know where he is. 15-9 in a Vanguard. They finally break the curse of x-kom's comeback. They shut off the cycle. They make sure that was such a good shot from James to react to Stomp.
Second time.
Exactly, yeah. That's twice it's happened now. And I think if Stomp would have got that first kill, he would have had the confidence to go for a couple more peaks. That could have gone way worse for a Vanguard. But they finally shut down that x-kom side. 15-9. And a single round away from closing out map number 2.
Yeah, and a crucial error by x-kom, or more so by Stomp. I'm not sure why he didn't try the counter wallbang. He had the early spot on him. He saw the knee of his, so he certainly knew about him. But in any case, I love this by Mono, though. Being boosted up on mid, AVANGAR might not expect this. So far, this is the first time x-kom has done it, and this could actually work out. But Krisen from doors, he gets himself a piece of Oskarish. This time, though, it's, Mono abusing the fact that he has free reign over heaven and gets himself Fitch. That's a good return. x-kom are not down and out yet, but that eco round will come back to haunt them. They'll have to win 6 rounds in a row to be able to win this. And that's a long way to go. In MBK, Yetka gonna be tagged out. Goofy goes for the peak, finds one. Keeker is out, still a 3-on-3. So far, x-kom have been very good on the refrags, on being able to keep themselves in contention for the round itself. And in quad, an important battle. Mono, Goofy holding A site, Stomp alone on B. A crucial moment right now for x-kom. 40 seconds remaining. AVANGAR will be executing A. Molotov into quad, forcing out a peek. Mono still gets the kill on Buster. It's down to Goofy at fork, and that was so... James! The second! I'm fairly certain he saw him, but he's going to be able to get him nonetheless. Krisen and James. Stomp. 20 seconds. Time is on the side of AVANGAR. And x-kom.
Pretty sure James just saw him recross as well.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he hadn't. I mean, he's staying on the off angle at fork as soon as Stomp pushes out deeper. Okay, he's gonna get one. But James, yeah, there it is. That's it. 69, gentlemen, 2-0, and AVANGAR will secure the victory of this best-of-3 series. Kieran, I guess in the end, it was just a question of when and not if.
Yeah, the comeback looks so good from x-kom. They started to really show us what we'd been waiting for in this series, especially off of the back of that first map where they were so unlucky to not close it out. But again, I think it's definitely like something to hit the server with, hit the prac, get in, watch the VODs, make sure you know. Sort of, especially against the Vanguard, you have a very, very good VOD to look at here. Especially against 2 maps you play very often, Cash and Mirage. x-kom like to play both, so they can take those incorporations of AVANGAR. They can learn from this. And I think that's what's great about a side like x-kom, because with many matches that they play, they're always eager, that you can tell they're always learning. And that's great for a side like x-kom. I mean, despite losing this game 2-0, I don't think it's a respect, like a respective of what x-kom can bring to the server. So, yeah, I think they'll go away, learn from this. But again, for AVANGAR, you wouldn't expect anything less off of the back of that major performance with the morale and the hype. So, yeah, I think it's a good result for x-kom, but definitely some learning tips for good result for AVANGAR, and definitely some learning tips for x-kom.
Absolutely, x-kom. They've shown, if nothing else, that they're very capable on Mirage, and above all else, they have the potential of reaching higher grounds. In any case, unfortunately for them, the higher ground of top 4 for the group stages is kind of out of reach almost, because this will put them at a 4-4 result in matches won and lost. So 8 matches overall played, 1 more to go. I'm not sure who they have not played against.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
But, I mean, no matter who they're going to be playing up against, if they want to have any chance of moving to the top 4 or moving through the top 4, they need to win it. That's as simple as that. And even then, it's already questionable whether or not they will even get through it. As AVANGAR is at 5-1, Winstrike at 4-1.
I think it's no chance.
4-2. Yeah, no chance at 2-2.
I'm pretty sure it's no chance they haven't played as well.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, no chance hasn't played like for almost since we started this tournament.
Many games.
Yeah. In any case, gentlemen, we will be taking an hour's break and returning with our second best of 3 of the day, Havu versus No Chance, up next. As I said, about an hour's break, and we shall return then. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Kieran